Right, hello, Hook Boxing. We're interviewing people again. It's been a little while because I have been lazy. Who cares? We're back and we got a good one with Joel Bartell. How are you, Joel?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Good to be on here, mate. Yeah.
Good. Right, now, first of all, I have to shout out Mark from work because Mark has done this for me and got this set up. And he's a great guy, so appreciate that, Mark. Don't He's got no like socials I can really shout out here,
No,
so
not really.
but but if he did, then sure, go follow him. Now, first, I'd like to just get the fighter to introduce themselves. So, Joel, just tell the people about yourself a little bit.
Just let me just decline this call. Um, yeah. So I am middleweight, 7-1. I'm trained by Mark and Jimmy Tibbs up in Raynham, Essex. Um, won multiple national and international titles as amateur. Was on Team England and yeah. So looking in this next year to sort of push on to titles, sort of. I'd say I'm in good position for probably the Southern, the Commonwealth Silver, and probably the English.
Yeah,
But yeah, just get the year rolling because obviously there's nothing going on right now. Christmas time, February, sort of see where I am, and hopefully get a title start next year.
yeah. I mean, the British middleweight division is pretty hectic right now. It's one of the well, Hamza Shiraz is obviously sort of the main talk. But if you work the way down, we've got Jimmy Sainz who's 7-0, or
Yeah,
Sainz Jimmy. So, I mean, that's somebody obviously promotional wise, he's going to get in a very non-respect in a very oh no very respectful way rather. He's going to get a nice route. You've already had to get in there with another guy who at the time was 7-0 in Jordan Reynolds.
yeah,
And got a bit unlucky if we're being honest with that cut in the second round.
yeah.
I mean, did you feel that that kind of changed the way the fight went?
Not really. I just feel got the cut, carried on as was. It was as you said. It was only in the second round, so
Yeah,
done 10 rounds with a cut. So I wouldn't say it was unlucky. It was a good fight and
yeah,
learned from it, and now move on.
yeah. I think this is a something that gets brought up a lot. Is I saw Maisie Rose Courtney, who I'm reminded of because you've got the Nigel Benn shorts on in the background, and obviously she's managed by Conor Benn.
Yeah,
Talking about how she lost and how it's actually taken quite a load off of her, a bit of a weight off her shoulders, because she now feels that she's not protecting that O, so she can just sort of get in there and a little bit more stuck in, which doesn't necessarily apply to you because I've seen your fights and you get stuck in, but
yeah.
but it's at the very least, is there a feeling of slight like less pressure when you get in there in a way?
Yeah. No, I've spoke to people about it before, and other people have said that to me. Oh, it's a pressure off your shoulders. Um, I'm not sure if it's a pressure off my shoulders because I'm always putting pressure on myself to perform well and all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So I get where they're coming from, being a pressure off your shoulders. You're not protecting that, but there's always like that pressure to perform and
yeah,
that pressure to win. So um, yeah and no to a degree.
yeah. That's probably the best mindset to have though.
Yeah,
If you're thinking about it in terms of actually, if you take a loss and you're like, I'm all right with that, that's not you're not going to go very
yeah.
far. I think,
No.
unfortunately, not in a competitive sport. Um, of which, why boxing? Why not football or rugby or these other more typical?
Yeah. Um, well, I did football when I was younger. I needed a bit of contact, So I ended up doing rugby, like you said, rugby.
Yeah.
I played a lot of rugby, but I always wanted to do a bit of boxing. Uh, most people in my family have boxed, so it was just sort of waiting to the right time to get to it. Some
Mm.
people would say I come a little late, but I come at a good age, sort of 14, nearly 15, to sort of really get started in it.
Yeah, that's not too. I mean, that's older than some. I mean, you're what,
Yeah.
22 now?
22, yeah.
You've only been boxing sort of 7, 8 years, and you've turned
Yeah.
professional and got eight fights on the record.
Yeah.
That's a bit mental, actually, when you put it like that. Compared to a lot of people aren't turning over till they're
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
yeah.
25.
And I mean, I only like it because if you think in the amateurs, 2 years of that was gone through COVID. So I only had
Yeah,
three amateur career like seasons really, and I managed to have 52 fights, 50 fights. So
Hmm.
Packed them in. Yeah.
Active.
Yeah.
Made your debut in 2023. Yeah,
Yep.
February 23, and you've had 8 fights. I mean, that's some crazy activity.
Well, it would be a little bit more, but I was supposed to box. Well, I was looking to box December,
Yeah,
but just fucking few little niggles, just no point. I could have probably got another one or two fights in that time, sort of. But
yeah.
it's
Do
what it is.
your do your coaches ever tell you to maybe like calm it down a bit with the amount? Because you clearly want to be out there almost every week from just the impression I'm getting at the moment.
Not. I don't think they really not like that because obviously Jimmy's an old school trainer, and then you
Yeah,
got Mark who's there with him, and like they'd happily box every week, and being active is very important. Like obviously you can get in the gym, you can spar and you can train and it keeps you sharp, but keeping active is another thing, having
yeah,
having the uh having the fights is a different thing.
yeah. I mean, they say that activity is what kills a lot of great champions, isn't it? So you get to a
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
point and
yeah.
then they stop. And we saw that with the Charlos more recently, who just look
Yeah, just
well,
they fight maybe once a year. Maybe not even that.
yeah.
I mean,
It's a shame as well for the fans.
yeah,
You get Crawford and yeah, what? Well, that's a whole different thing. But
yeah,
with yourself, I know we spoke. Or you mentioned sort of Southern area titles, English titles, potentially a silver Commonwealth in the nearer future. When all is said and done, and boxing career is done, and you can't can't fight anymore as much as you want to. Where would you have liked to have gotten to? What's the sort of level that
well,
Joel Bartell will get to?
I want to go the classic route. I want the British,
Yeah,
and I want to defend it. I want to keep that belt.
yeah,
Yeah. So British, Commonwealth, EBU European, and then I want to
yeah.
get the world titles. So classic route, but I want to go all the way.
No, good. You can sit the British is the best looking belt. I say this every time. It's the best
Yeah,
belt. And
yeah,
every
it
British
is by
fight,
far.
don't see a British title fight that sucks.
That's
Never.
why people swerve it because it's a
Yeah.
hard belt to win.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we've got the British title between Brad Pauls and Denzel Bentley coming
Yeah.
up. Magnificent Seven card. I mean, we'll get your predictions as well for yeah, that's a good clip. Joel Bartel, Denzel Bentley or Brad Pauls.
I like both of them a lot. I
Yeah,
get on with both of them. I was sparring Brad for both of the Nathan Heaney's fights.
yeah,
Um, and I've sparred Denzel a lot of times. I think it's a really, really good fight, and it's a close fight. I think if Brad can get on the inside, maybe he can outwork him and last the rounds.
yeah,
But if Denzel keeps him long and gets him on the end of some of those long shots, he's got serious power on the end of them.
yeah.
So I'm gonna stay on the fence, and I'm not gonna say either.
That is the most sparred to both guys kind of
Yeah,
answer. You can't make the decision. I mean, I interviewed Brad Pauls, and I know he'll be excited for this. If you've
yeah, yeah,
sparred him, he loves this kind of moment.
yeah.
Um,
100%.
and I've got to ask, Denzel Bentley, we know hits hard. I've
Yeah,
been told from Mark, and I've seen it in your fights, that you hit very hard. Who hits harder, you or Denzel Bentley?
one punch power,
Yeah,
Denzel.
yeah,
But like you say, I like to get his dug in. You know,
yeah,
throwing a lot of shots, so it's consistent power. I've got consistent, lots of boom, 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 and then and
yeah.
then there you go.
That's interesting. And Mark was saying it might be the hardest hitting combination punch or something along those lines that he's seen in the gym. So I
Yeah,
thought I had to bring it up and also have to kind of keep bringing Mark up. Otherwise,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you got to keep shouting him out. But yeah, I think how do you feel about boxing at the moment? I think that's always interesting. I mean, we had Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, which is a ridiculous fight. Um, and it had, I mean, apparently like 100 million people across the world watching it, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But then you've got the stuff in Saudi, which is really good for boxing, but then it's in Saudi. Like, how do you feel about where boxing's going?
I mean, at the end of the day, boxing is going in or out where it's bringing more money to the sport.
Yeah,
All over, more money, more exposure. It's good. It's good for the sport. It brings more people to the sport. Um, like. if you stick at it, you're gonna get to the Saudi cards.
Yeah,
You know, so that doesn't put me off at all. Like you stick at it, you'll get to the Saudi cards, and with the influencer side of stuff, I don't mind it because I think it's good. Like it gets younger people into it, brings
yeah,
more eyes to the sport. You know what I mean? Um, I think some like of the bad matchmaking doesn't look good. But other than that, like you said, the Jake Paul, Mike
yeah. I
Tyson
mean
card.
that was just
Although
sad.
it's Mike Tyson, you shouldn't a fight like that shouldn't be made with a 58-year-old man that's been smoking weed for the last decade.
Yeah, he's been off his tits for about
Yeah,
5 years, and then he's gone back into training and had
yeah,
a serious issue, hasn't he, mid-camp? So,
yeah,
nah, that fight was sad. I mean, we did I did a live stream with it with Paolo, a guy that I know, and we were watching it. We were just quiet the whole time. It's like this is
yeah.
just dreadful.
I didn't even bother. Didn't even
No,
wake up for it. Didn't watch it afterwards. Didn't watch anyway.
we were watching Serrano Taylor. That was the
Yeah,
reason we stayed up. That was worth
yeah,
it. But nah, the main event was shocking. And then the worst part is the fact how many people watched it, which I get, but
yeah,
oh my God, it's just crazy. Um, I think I've kind of that's all my like real questions. The only thing I've kind of got to ask that's left is I always ask it to an extent at the end, which is I get an idea of sort of how much people love boxing, right? And it's weird to say that, but certain boxers I've interviewed don't love it as much as others. Um, with you, I feel like you clearly love it, but I also feel like you could have done other things. You could have done anything else, not sport-wise. Well, potentially sport-wise. I don't know how good at football and rugby you are, but why is it that you keep waking up early and doing the runs and fighting when you clearly don't need to? Like there's not there's other options out there, right? It's the same thing with
yeah. I
every
think
other
there's
boxer.
other options for most people. I
Yeah,
think you know I do it because there's nothing else I actually it's just there's nothing else I actually enjoy doing or like look forward to doing.
yeah,
So and there's something at the end that I want to achieve. Like I said, I want to win that British outright,
yeah,
Commonwealth, European. Then I want to win all the world titles. You know, yeah, my favorite fighter, Hagler, best middleweight world champion ever. All of this sort of
good
stuff. So,
fighter.
so don't wanna like replicate because you'll never be the same as whoever. But I want to create something for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'll be
there'll never be another Marvin Hagler, but then there'll probably never be another Joel Bartell. So
that's it.
that's the key.
I got
Um,
a signed Hagler photo, so
you got a signed Hagler photo.
yeah, that's straight
Oh,
straight from Petronelli's. Yeah,
nice. That's. I need to start building a collection of stuff. You know, I've
yeah,
got a couple photos. I met Barry Hearn the other week. That was pretty cool, but
yeah.
really need to start getting. I need Nigel Benn shorts. That's what I need. Nigel Benn is the
That's it.
man. Um, listen, I think yeah, from my side, that's everything I wanted to ask, and obviously. Potentially, when you've got a fight lined up, we'll do another one of these, and we'll
Definitely.
promote the shit out of you. Um, have you got anything you'd like to say to the people watching? Social media you want people to follow or anything?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So my social media is basically the same on everything. It's Joel.Bartel15.
Yeah,
Um, want to just say thanks to all the people that come watch me fight all the time, and they spend their money, so they're they're the best. And I want to just to shout out to my sponsors as well. So I've got I don't know if you can see here, I've
yeah,
got Treasury Services, got DPS Property Services, Big Fish Records. I've got Southeast Movers, DNR Electrical,
yeah.
Foreman's Tree Specialists, and a new one on board is VFX Financial.
Nice. That's a good list of sponsors. That I always
Yeah.
impress me. People can remember them. It's
Yeah, no, I struggle. That's why I always look at the
that's why I got a t-shirt.
look at the front of the shirt. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I just I got to try and remember what's on the back.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll put links to all of Joel's socials in the description anyway, so you can go follow him. And yeah, appreciate you watching. All the best. Goodbye. Subscribe, like, and all that. I always forget to do that part. You know, it's important as well. Oh, well.
Yeah.